Continuing from the previous episode 1205. The huge means of the 4 strong men and the ice arrows all over the sky instantly attacked together. There is a rather evil aura on the frostbolt, and the shapes are different, but they are as short as a feather arrow and extremely sharp. Crash! The dazzling dark red ice arrow is like a murderous arrow, with an extremely evil aura. It blasts away at the crowd. If it hits everyone, there is no need to doubt it. I am afraid that their strength is even vitality. In an instant, it will be swallowed up by the evil aura above this ice arrow. Boom boom boom. The first one to bear the brunt was the Fengyao Gable of Jade Legacy. The bow and arrow like ice arrow directly hit Yu Yifeng's attack, and then Yu Yifeng's bright blue hurricane slowly glowed with a feeling of fragmentation. The evil power on this guy is so strong. Yu Yifeng felt a lot of pressure, and then bit his lips tightly, thinking deeply. Captain, and me. The thunder snake was not afraid at all, and the dazzling circle of thunder and fire suddenly attacked the sky full of ice arrows. Boom boom boom. 3 dark red ice arrows were stopped by Thunder Snake and Yu Yifeng, but one of them flew towards Xiao Yan and the others. Captain, the land monkeys and the others. Just after resolving the attack in front of the 2 of them, Razor glanced at the few people below, and found that the ice arrow was slowly blasting away with an overwhelming force. Trust them. Razor, we're ready. This guy is very strong. We must spare no effort. After Yu Yifeng finished speaking, his eyes suddenly became deep, and even the power of the wind element fighting immortal all over his body sent out a rather strange and tyrannical force. Okay. Thundersnake heard the words and ignored Xiao Yan and the others, then turned his eyes and looked at the Bing Sin envoy. Boom boom boom. The last ice arrow came silently in front of Xiao Yan and the others, and then lightly hit the second layer of defense. The first to bear the brunt is the Earth Rock Shield of the Earth Monkey. Without any resistance, the evil power on the dark red ice arrow could easily penetrate it completely. The attack of the 3-star fighting immortal powerhouse and the defense of the 1-star fighting immortal powerhouse are always too different. Puff puff. As the Earth and Rock Shield was completely pierced, the Earth Monkey spurted out a mouthful of blood. Obviously, this Earth and Rock Shield cost him a lot of power, and now he is still under the Ice Sinner, who is as powerful as a 3-star fighting immortal. Is vulnerable. He just broke through the Earth and Rock Shield, and he didn't stop for a while. The next moment, he directly attacked the waterfall canopy on Shuiwei. Protect me. Shuiwei just felt the evil smell on the evil frostbolt, and couldn't help but burst out. He knew that if his defense failed, the situation for the 4 of them would become quite difficult. This attack is a bit strong. I'm afraid he won't be able to take it. Xiao Yan on the side looked serious, and then the power of the flame in his body slowly condensed. Once Shuiwei was defeated, Xiao Yan must take action. Boom boom boom. In front of everyone, it was a huge water curtain that resisted the dark red ice arrow, but as time went by, the dark red ice arrow was slowly approaching the water moon. Let me come. At the next moment, Xiao Yan didn't stop. His figure flickered, and immediately above his palm, a khaki flame slowly wrapped his palm, and instantly came to the side of the dark red ice arrow. Xiao Yan, be careful. Land Monkey and Shuiwei couldn't help being surprised when they saw this. Xiao Yan was related after they entered Icefire Island. Jade Legacy had secretly explained that Land Monkey and Shuiwei must protect his safety, but in the face of such a terrifying evil frostbolt, this guy actually. Bump. Xiao Yan came to the side of the ice arrow that was about to break through the waterfall sky, and the palm wrapped by the power of the fire heart Tianyang sacred flame suddenly grabbed it, and then the dark red ice arrow lost all its brilliance, and then under the eyes of everyone, it slowly fell. The few people who were shocked by this sudden scene couldn't help but look at each other. The smell of this guy. But the ice criminal who was just about to wipe out Yu Yifeng and Thundersnake fell into deep thought after feeling the khaki flame on Xiao Yan's body. Obviously, the power of the flame made him feel what went wrong. Sin obviously serves the evil races outside the realm, and searching for holy flame, destroying and suppressing it, is one of their goals. Even if Xiao Yan used holy flame just for a moment, I am afraid that he would have been felt by Bing Sin. This kid really has some skill. Thundersnake, do it. Yu Yifeng said, and the figure moved under the cyan wind attribute Do Xian. Thousands of thunder hands. Razor naturally knew what Yu Yifeng wanted to do. As a wind attribute, Yu Yifeng can use the speed advantage of the wind attribute to approach the enemy, thus performing a fatal blow. And what I need to do is to buy time for the legacy of Jade. Boom boom boom. As soon as Razor finished speaking, his palms swelled up instantly, and hundreds of silver thunders were like moonlight, attacking directly at the Ice Sin Guard. Interesting. I'm afraid there is holy flame on this guy. Unexpectedly, I lost the information of the undead leaves, and I found another holy flame controller. You can't waste time here. This matter must be reported back. After a perfect plan is made, the controller of this holy flame will be obliterated and the holy flame will be suppressed. There are only 36 holy flames in the Great Thousand Worlds, and every time we lose one, the odds of our alien race will increase by 1 point. Susu, just wait. In just an instant, the frozen envoy knew the news that Xiao Yan was carrying the holy flame, and then quickly calculated in his heart. After some weighing, he chose to temporarily choose escape-www.novelmtlink.com/evil, where to go. Seeing that the ice criminals had put away half of the realm, Yu Yifeng still pursued and killed him relentlessly. Next time, let's have a good time with you. After the ice sinner finished speaking, the body turned into an ice sculpture, then shattered in an instant and disappeared here. With the disappearance of the ice sinner, calm was restored here, but everyone didn't notice that in an inconspicuous place, a figure slowly disappeared. This figure is obviously the 10th soul of the Ghost Kingdom, and he is also the employer of the Hawkeye team, but they don't know it. Hoo-hoo, why did this guy suddenly run away? Watching the Ice Sin Guard leave, Thundersnake said slowly. This guy is very strong. If he really wants to fight for life and death, I'm afraid I only have a chance of winning. Yu Yifeng stood in the sky and said slowly, "Are you all right?" Not long after, Yu Yifeng and Razor came to the ground and asked the land monkeys. "It's fine." The land monkeys slowly smiled. "Take a rest. Tonight is the time when the entrance to Icefire Island appears, and you must enter it," Yu Yifeng said, and then closed his eyes to adjust his breath. When everyone heard this, they also slowly adjusted their breaths and returned to their peak, but they all knew that after this guy's battle, Xiao Yan gave them a great shock. This Xiao Yan is not only an alchemist who only knows how to refine medicine, but even in terms of combat power, he is a pervert. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 1206. The terrain of Shawu village is unique, but on the altar with a radius of 100 meters, it seems to have some special energy, which keeps pouring out, giving everyone a bone-chilling cold and an extremely hot burning sensation. With the departure of the Ice Sinner, everyone closed their eyes and rested, recovering the power consumed by the battle. The night quietly approached. It seems that everyone has recovered almost. Yu Yifeng stood up first, looked around the crowd, and found that everyone's strength had almost recovered, so he said, "It's almost there." Everyone said slightly, "The tunnel in the center of this altar, how can there be a force of ice and fire blowing?" Xiao Yan glanced around slowly, and found that the tunnel in the center of the altar was not the same as usual, but it was full of strangeness at this time. The power of that kind of power is like the combination of ice and fire. Even if Xiao Yan is carrying holy flames, he still feels a chill. The tunnel in the center of the altar is the entrance to Icefire Island, Yu Yifeng said, seeming to sense Xiao Yan's doubts. The creature that needs me to use my soul power to resist is in the Ice and Fire Island? Xiao Yan asked. Good. This Ice and Fire Island has a total of 10 floors, and each floor is guarded by a guardian. Only by defeating the guardian of the upper floor can you enter the next floor. Yu Yifeng smiled. Then let's go. Xiao Yan nodded and said softly, obviously he would not ask their purpose thankfully. Then, this is Icefire Grass. Now the entrance of Icefire Island appears, but the power of ice and fire is extraordinarily fearful. Using your own fighting chi to refine the ice and fire grass, it will form an enchantment on your body, and the enchantment is used to resist the erosion of the power of ice and fire. With this thing, we can reach the inside of Icefire Island without any pressure. After Yu Yifeng finished speaking, Najia slowly turned, and plants were thrown directly at the crowd. Is this the ice fire grass? Xiao Yan took this thing and found that the ice fire grass was an ordinary plant, with roots and leaves like ordinary plants. Peeved. Xiao Yan was also too lazy to pay attention to it, and his fighting chi immediately emerged, instantly refining the ice and fire grass. Crash! The refining of ice and firegrass is quite simple. It took just one breath to be refined by Xiaoyan, and then a touch of soft power slowly surrounded Xiaoyan. With the isolation of this power, Xiaoyan suddenly felt when he arrived, the power that emerged from the tunnel greatly reduced the pressure on him. Let's go. Seeing that everyone was enveloped in a soft barrier, Yu Yifeng immediately laughed. Let's go. Everyone came to the deep pit of the altar, and immediately glanced at the bottom, and the bottom was bottomless. Peeved, Yu Yifeng took the lead and jumped directly into it. Immediately after seeing this, other people followed suit. What a terrifying energy coercion. Just as he poured into the deep pit of the altar, a dark passage suddenly appeared in everyone's sight. Ice and Fire Island. I really miss it. I don't know if the old guys on the first and second floors are okay. Just as he poured into this passage, the Lord of Soul Eater laughed slowly, as if he was about to meet an old friend whom he hadn't seen for many years. Senior, do you still know the guys on the first and second floors of Ice Fire Island? Xiaoyan listened to Soul Eater's understatement, but his heart was extremely shocked. In this Ice and Fire Island, the pressure given to him by the 10th floor alone made Xiaoyan a little difficult, not to mention the guys on the first and second floors of the Ice and Fire Island. Although I am the king of Soul Eater realm, when I was young, I went to many places, such as the Ghost World, the Demon World, the Human World. I can say without hesitation, I have traveled to many places. The guys on the first and second floors of the Ice and Fire Island are very terrifying, but they are worth fighting for, said Soul Eater. Yes. Xiaoyan nodded lightly. Obviously with the strength of their team, it was impossible to enter the first and second floors, and according to Xiaoyan's estimation, even entering the 8th floor would not be enough. Don't worry, there's my old buddy here, how could I let you play? If you don't grow up quickly, this is. The Soul Eater finally let out a malicious laugh. Cece. When Xiaoyan was talking with the Master of Soul Eater, Yu Yifeng suddenly said. The front is the place where the power of ice and fire is the most serious. Although there is the protection of the ice and fire grass, everyone still needs to be careful. After Yu Yifeng finished speaking, his figure flashed and disappeared directly here. Crash! With a sound, the dark passage disappeared out of thin air, and in its place was a huge crater. In the crater, the molten lava shot in all directions, and the power of flame contained in it made everyone's scalp numb, and the surroundings of the crater were completely wrapped by countless cold ice. And the people who disappeared from the dark passage now stand impressively at the top of the crater. I've heard how amazing Icefire Island is, but when I saw it today, it's actually a strange place where an active volcano is wrapped in countless ice. Lu Qing said slowly, Come in. Everyone left the dark passage at this time and stood at the top of the crater. Boom boom boom. As soon as the voice fell, Yu Yifeng shot directly at the crater. What are you thinking? Keep up. Xiaoyan consciously stopped, then looked at Yu Xiaoyi restlessly, patted his shoulder, and said with a smile. Oh. Yu Xiaoyi agreed slightly, then followed the army. Cece. What a mighty power of ice and fire. Just after descending some distance, he could immediately feel the enormous power of ice and fire covering his entire body. Even with the protection of the ice and fire grass, it still makes everyone feel a rather serious oppression. Xiaoyan thought while flying slowly with the power of ice and fire. Think beautifully? This power of ice and fire is highly poisonous. If I stay here for a long time, I'm afraid I will become an idiot sooner or later. Xiaoyan's words attracted the eyes of the Soul Eater. Be vigilant, we will enter the interior of Ice and Fire Island soon. Ice and Fire Island is extremely dangerous. Remember, no matter what you see, you can't get it. Yu Yifeng still didn't forget to explain. Okay. Everyone nodded. Feng Shu, let's go. The next moment, Yu Yifeng's body was full of wind-type fighting qi, and then dispersed towards the body of everyone. Crash! The guy who had lost his direction at first was hit by Jade Legacy, and immediately landed at the crater. Fortunately, they have the protection of ice and fire grass, otherwise the power of ice and fire outside the island of ice and fire alone would be enough to wipe out their entire army. Susu. What a strong fluctuation. This power seems a little familiar. Devouring? It looks like an old buddy is here. When everyone just fell into the interior of Icefire Island, there were some unfriendly fluctuations in the first and second floors at the bottom of Icefire Island. That kind of fluctuation is much more powerful than the ice sinner in the late Samsung Do Xian. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 1207. This is the inside of Ice and Fire Island? What a thin energy of heaven and earth. The group had just entered the interior of Icefire Island, and Xiao Yan was the first to speak. When everyone heard this, they couldn't help but look up. What caught everyone's eyes was a shocking scene. Everyone saw that they were at the top of the crater at this time, and the volcano as a whole had an oval shape, the edge of the volcano, and circular passages surrounding the center, but there was no road leading to the bottom. Scenes of extremely hot melt. This Ice and Fire Island is naturally extremely mysterious, so it is the only choice for imprisoning the wicked. Yu Yifeng said with a smile. There doesn't seem to be a way to go down here. Lu Qing said with a slight movement of her eyes. This Ice and Fire Island has a total of 10 floors, and each floor is a separate space. Only by defeating the Guardian on the previous floor can you enter the next floor. Razor said. Since Icefire Island is a purgatory where wicked people are imprisoned, with a total of 10 floors, I am afraid that there should be 10 wicked people imprisoned here. Xiao Yan muttered. It's true that 10 people are imprisoned here, but they are evil people. The Soul Eater whispered softly. Quote. Xiao Yan heard the words, just wanted to ask something, but hesitated. The 10 people here were all kind-hearted people during their lifetimes, but they made a big mistake just now because of other people's conspiracies or the separation of their relatives. The Soul Eater shook his head slowly, obviously he knew something. Let's go, the entrance is there, let's go over to take a look first. After a while, Shuiwei led the crowd directly towards the entrance of the light curtain on the 10th floor. There is an extremely tyrannical sealing force in this entrance. The power of this seal will not seal our strength, but once we enter it, we cannot leave on our own initiative, unless we fail or succeed in dealing with the Guardian. And after defeating the Guardian, there will be some extremely rare treasures of heaven and earth in each floor, which can be regarded as a reward for the passers-by. However, the Guardians on each floor do not appear fixedly, but appear randomly. Their strengths are not trivial, and every other floor, the Guardians below are getting stronger and stronger. Yu Yifeng said slowly. Strange. After listening to Yu Yifeng's words, everyone nodded slightly, only the Soul Eater in Xiao Yan's body made a doubtful voice. Senior, what's wrong? Xiao Yan asked using his soul power. This Jade legacy is true, but after defeating the Guardian, there will be some treasures of heaven and earth, and the purgatory to imprison the wicked will also appear. I guess the reason why he didn't say this was that he wanted to save the wicked at a certain level. The Lord of Soul Eater said slightly. This guy is really cunning. When Xiao Yan heard this, he couldn't help but raise a little bit of vigilance towards Yu Yifeng and the others. Be careful, there are many strong people on this Ice and Fire Island, which is an excellent place for you to experience. I won't take action unless I have to. After all, I know most of the guys here. Once I come forward, I will lose the purpose of the experience. And, this trip to Ice and Fire Island, I'll let you improve your strength and devour your fighting spirit. At that time, you will add your fighting spirit with the strength of a 2-star fighting immortal, and you will not be afraid of encountering some difficult enemies. As for the ratio of Dongzhou, it's not easy to capture. The Soul Eater said with a slow smile. Okay. Xiao Yan was overjoyed when he heard the words. He knew that if he had a fighting spirit, he would undoubtedly enhance his strength and combat effectiveness. Captain, let's go first. We have been to the 10th floor before, and the Guardians are not to be afraid of. The land monkey looked at the entrance of the light curtain in front of him and smiled. Etc. The Guardians in this Ice and Fire Island are changing rapidly. The last time we met on the 10th floor was a soul beast with the mid-stage strength of a 2-star Do Xian, the Xuantian Spirit Eagle. Although it was easy to defeat it, but this time I entered the 10th floor, I am afraid that I will not encounter it again, and I must act carefully. Yu Yifeng said seriously. Brother Xiao Yan, I don't know how far your soul power has reached now. Yu Yifeng asked Xiao Yan slightly. The previous time they defeated Xuantian Lingying, the guardian of the 10th floor, and obtained the precious treasure of the Earth Dragon Blood Crystal, but when they entered the 9th floor, they suffered an extremely tyrannical soul attack. They have the means of pressing the bottom of the box, and I am afraid they have fallen into it. It's one step away from stepping into the fairyland. Xiao Yan didn't want to hide it, and said slowly, Emperor Realm Heavenly Level Great Perfection? As soon as Xiao Yan's voice fell, Lu Qing's silver bell-like voice sounded slowly. Lu Qing also cultivates soul power, but her soul power has not yet reached the great perfection of the Emperor realm, which is much worse than Xiaoyan, and now hearing Xiaoyan's words, she is naturally extremely surprised. You must know that soul power is the most difficult thing to cultivate. At such an age, he can reach the great perfection of the Emperor realm, which is enough to show how terrifying Xiaoyan is in the attainment of soul power. Is it really the great perfection of the Emperor realm? But Yu Yifeng laughed loudly when he heard the words. Yes. Xiaoyan nodded lightly. It's so good. Yu Yifeng suddenly laughed when he heard the words. The last time they entered the 9th floor, they were instantly defeated by the Guardian's extremely tyrannical soul power. Even before the Guardian's true face was seen clearly, they were pulled away from the Icefire Island, but the Jade Legacy was faint. I feel that if you want to deal with the Guardian, I am afraid that you need to find a strong person whose soul power reaches at least the Emperor realm. This is also why they are willing to take out treasures like the Earth Dragon Blood Crystal for auction. And Xiaoyan's soul power is not heaven level, but heaven level great perfection. This made Yu Yifeng laugh out loud. If they were to meet that Guardian, with Xiaoyan as the protector, their Hawkeye team would naturally have the power to fight, but they didn't know if they would meet again this time. Since you are fully prepared, let's go. Xiaoyi, you will follow me on this trip, watch more and learn more, don't panic when you encounter danger. Shuiwei and Land Monkey, you two are responsible for the safety of Miss Lu Qing. Thundersnake, Xiaoyan will leave it to you. Yu Yifeng arranged. Yes. Shuiwei and Land Monkey, plus Razor all laughed. Xiaoyan, this guy is not only powerful, but even his soul power is so powerful, and he also has holy flame. It seems that we need to find a time to communicate with him. The attack of the foreign evil race is imminent. If he can hand over the holy flame to our holy see, then the power of the upper echelons of our holy see will be enhanced even more. At that time, he will be a lifelong friend of our holy see. Even if he can't, he will be with him. Being a good friend is also very good. Lu Qing's beautiful eyes moved slightly, staring at Xiaoyan and said, and I don't know if there will be traces of holy flames in this ice and fire island. According to the teacher, there are fluctuations of holy flames in the ghost realm. The ratio of the eastern continent to the 4 continents, I hope it will not disappoint the teacher's expectations. The next moment, Lu Qing thought about it. I don't know if this ice and fire island can help me break through the soul power of the fairyland. Xiaoyan's eyes also became hot. Soul power. I remember there is a guardian. Just let Xiaoyan swallow it. He. It's just that Xiaoyan didn't know. All his words were heard by the Lord of Soul Eater. Let's go. After everyone finished speaking, they turned into a stream of light and merged into the entrance of the 10th floor. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 1208. Shabu Shabu. The 7 members of the Eagle Eye team turned into streamers and poured into the space where the guardians on the 10th floor were. This is a forest? And just as everyone rushed into the space where the 10th floor guardian was, a large green vegetation suddenly appeared in everyone's sight. Peefed puff. As such a huge forest continued to expand in the pupils of everyone, Xiao's body broke through and shook violently. What's going on? Xiaoyan was suddenly startled, because at this moment, the Do core in the Do Chi Si in his body actually sent out a strange wave. Wood attribute? The next moment, Xiaoyan knew the reason for the restlessness. It turned out that the wood-type bucket core in Xiaoyan's body was sending out a burst of urgent fluctuations. After all, the wood-type attribute was too strong in this forest, and because Xiaoyan himself had awakened the wood-type attribute, so the wood-type fighting spirit was coming to this forest full of vitality is like a thirsty human being as happy as encountering an oasis in the desert. Give me a little quiet. You are a killer, and you can't expose it yet. Xiaoyan directly urged the fire-type Duhei and burning Ju to suppress the wood-type Duhei. Although he has awakened the wood attribute, Xiaoyan has not yet started to practice the fighting skills related to the wood attribute, so it is nonsense to use the wood attribute fighting Qi. This space seems a little unusual. This forest is full of strong wood and earth attributes, but I vaguely feel that there is something terrifying. Yu Yifeng heard the words and looked around, but he was stunned by these high numbers. 10 meters of towering trees blocked the view. Among the strong fighting immortals, if they are strong at the same level, the strength of fighting skills, and the mutual generation and mutual restraint of attributes will undoubtedly become the relationship that affects the outcome. Little brother Xiao Yan, can you sense the guardian creatures in this forest? The next moment, Yu Yifeng asked Xiao Yan directly. Okay. Xiao Yan agreed directly, then closed his eyes and sank, mobilizing his huge soul power to spread out in the forest. There seems to be only one creature in this space, and that creature is not far from us at this time. After a while, Xiao Yan directly fed back the information he had investigated through his soul power exploration. It's so close? The land monkey was shocked when he heard the words, and a bad premonition slowly swept over. Strange, why does it feel a little bit cold? And the 7 people here, except for Lu Qing's slight opening, didn't feel any strangeness, but Lu Qing looked at the crowd and didn't speak, just whispered. He should be in the pool in front of him. Shuiwei just wanted to speak, but Lu Qing, who was next to her, spoke out. Oh. Xiao Yan was a little surprised when he heard the words, because this was what he wanted to say, but Lu Qing took the lead. However, when Xiao Yan wanted to investigate Lu Qing's details, the soul power that had spread away actually collapsed when it touched 3 feet around Lu Qing's body. Looks like this guy has some kind of treasure that isolates and probes. To no avail, Xiao Yan is not wasting time. Captain Yu, I'll go over with you to have a look. Xiao Yan said directly, your strength. Yu Yifeng originally wanted to go over to inquire about the information first, but when Xiao Yan said this, he was also a little worried. Don't worry, self-protection is not a problem. Xiao Yan said with a smile. Let's go. As soon as he finished speaking, the figures of Yu Yifeng and Xiao Yan immediately walked towards the pool in front of the human beings, while the others stayed where they were. We'll just wait and see. Shuiwei and the others also walked around, trying to investigate the forest. When they were divided into 2 teams, a figure slowly emerged from a hidden place not far from Shuiwei and his party. Almost lost. Jade Legacy, I paid a lot of money to hire you. I hope you don't let me down. The figure slowly fell silent after speaking. Puff puff, what's the sound? Xiao Yan and Yu Yifeng lowered their speed and moved forward slowly with the help of trees and weeds, but Yu Yifeng heard a particularly harsh sound. The source of this sound is right in front. Xiao Yan also said slowly at this time, and an extremely powerful pressure suddenly came from the front. This kind of suppression is obviously a direct suppression of strength, which makes Xiao Yan's breath and breathing become disordered, but fortunately Xiao Yan has Fen Ju. That suppression only lasted for 1 breath, and it was resolved by Xiao Yan. Go! The 2 looked at each other, and then their speed increased a lot. After a while, they came to the edge of the forest, and a rather spectacular scene appeared in front of them. Originally, based on Xiao Yan's perception of soul power, he felt that this was a large pool, but when he was really close to facing it, Xiao realized that he was wrong. In front of the 2 of them at this time, what kind of pool is there? This is clearly an endless ocean. The azure blue water flowed slowly, and there were waves of turbulent sounds, but what surprised Xiao Yan and the 2 was that the sound could not be heard in the forest, but the edge of the ocean was extremely harsh. What is that? Yu Yifeng's eyes suddenly saw something, and then raised his finger gently. His voice was a little dumbfounded. It's actually an ancient frost ape! Exclamation mark quote. And Xiao Yan has a lot of knowledge, so he can tell the behemoth in the deep ocean at a glance. At this time, the behemoth is 100 meters high, and its rough limbs symbolize the power of destruction. At this time, it has half of its body in the ocean, and the other half appears on the water level. On top of, that feeling is like lying on the surface of the ocean and basking in the sun after a full meal. And that harsh sound was the snoring of this guy. This guy's strength may have reached the late stage of the 2-star Do Xian. Xiao Yan said in a deep voice. 2-star Dushan late stage. I should be able to catch it to save time and go to the next level. You help me from the side. After Yu Yifeng finished speaking, his aura suddenly soared, and then an indomitable and tyrannical aura suddenly emerged. This guy, I'm afraid he doesn't know how powerful the Frost Ancient Ape is. And Xiao Yan didn't plan to remind Yu Yifeng. After all, Yu Yifeng hid it from himself, and Xiao Yan also wanted to see what the destructive power of this guy was. Tyrannical, ho ho ho! Yu Yifeng's power just emerged, and the huge beast pupil of the giant Frost Ancient Ape suddenly opened, and then locked on Yu Yifeng the next moment. Beast, can you dare to fight me? Yuya was surrounded by the power of the immortal battle of the blue wind attribute, and then stood above the ocean, roaring at the Frost Ancient Ape below. Ho 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 ho! Facing Yu Yifeng's provocation, Frost Ancient Ape's pupils became dignified, and then his breath soared to the peak in an instant. A war is about to start. Continuing from the previous episode 1209. This Jade legacy is so reckless, if it weren't for his supernatural strength or some confidence, I'm afraid it wouldn't be like this. But he may not know. The Frost Ancient Ape is not only a representative of strength, even after using its own ability, Frost, its defense power will rise to a higher level, and ordinary attack methods are useless to it. Xiao Yan looked at it. The jade relics in the sky and the Frost Ancient Monkey, who was woken up by sleeping on the water, looked extremely angry. Both of them were evenly matched. Humph! Humanity! I hate others ruining my sleeping time the most in my life. Frost Ancient Ape Beast Tong looked extremely angry, with a rather tyrannical aura in his tone, which was close to Jade legacy. Soul beasts and demon beasts are from the same lineage, but they are called differently in the human world and the ghost world, and after the soul beasts reach Do Xian's strength, they have wisdom that is no weaker than that of humans, so it is quite a bit of a mouthful to speak. Is normal. Stop talking nonsense, you admit defeat, or I will kill you. Yu Yifeng said in a high and sub-zero tone. Humph. The 3-star fighting immortal powerhouse is indeed tyrannical, but you forgot that this is my territory. Frost Ancient Ape said disdainfully. As soon as the voice fell, the body of the Frost Ancient Ape suddenly jumped, and it appeared on the horizontal plane in an instant, and walked on it. This guy can actually step on the horizontal surface. Could it be from the water system? Yu Yifeng was surrounded by the sky with the power of the Cyan Wind attribute, staring at the Frost Ancient Ape. Ho 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 ho! The Frost Ancient Ape had just stepped on the horizontal surface, but without any pause, its huge arm suddenly fell into the water, and immediately brought up a sky-shattering water column with a size of several tens of meters, attacking the Jade Legacy Wind. Go! Shabu! Those water columns were injected with the unique power of Frost Ancient Ape, with extremely terrifying fluctuations, and blasted away at the Jade Legacy Wind. Small worm carving trick. Yu Yifeng snorted coldly, not in a hurry. The cyan hurricane all over his body suddenly spun at a high speed, and then there was an extremely terrifying spatial fluctuation, and the water column with terrifying attack power was easily resolved in an instant. It's interesting. Frost Ancient Ape couldn't help but be shocked when he saw this scene. Its own strength is comparable to that of a human being in the late stage of the 2-star Do Xian, but the strength of the human being in front of him is too terrifying. Power of Frost. The next moment, Frost Ancient Ape didn't hesitate and called out loudly. This guy. Yu Yifeng had just cracked the attack of the Frost Ancient Ape, and when he was about to attack, he was only shocked by the scene of the Frost Ancient Ape. I saw that the huge body of the Frost Ancient Ape that originally set foot on the horizontal surface turned out to be a layer of silver ice faintly appearing. The silver ice layer protects his entire body, like a fully armed warrior. The Frost Ancient Ape's defensive power is already tyrannical. After using Frost, the Frost Ancient Ape's defense power is at a higher level. The Wind attribute destructive power is really good, but I am afraid it is on the Frost Ancient Ape's territory. Xiao Yan hid above the branches, watching the battle in the field slowly opened its mouth. Damn, careless. Seeing that the Frost Ancient Ape was fully armed in an instant, Yu Yifeng couldn't help but cursed secretly. Originally, the Frost Ancient Ape in the late 2-star fighting immortal stage could kill him with one hit, but now it will waste a lot of time to display such a tyrannical defense. Ho ho ho! After the Frost Ancient Ape cast Frost, his huge hands slammed on his chest, roaring all over the sky, wanting to fight Yu Yifeng to the death. Beast, come on! Yu Yifeng's expression changed when he saw this, and then the dazzling blue fighting spirit slowly condensed in his hands, and an extremely terrifying fluctuation slowly brewed. Frost Sword Rain. Frost Ancient Ape roared, and immediately below the water surface, countless water droplets emerged. After these water droplets emerged, they turned into sharp ice swords under the gaze of the two, and then the speed skyrocketed. Facing the wind of jade relics above the sky, there are thousands of them. If an ordinary powerhouse encounters such a scene, I am afraid it is easy to be stabbed into a hornet's nest. Ha ha ha! It's good. I'll let you taste the fluctuations of the wind. Wind thousand blades. Yu Yifeng looked up at the sky full of ice swords attacking, and laughed loudly, and then the cyan battle chi in his hand instantly condensed into a huge rectangular wind blade, directly facing the place where the Frost Ancient Ape was located below. Throw it away. ZZ. Yu Yifeng's attacks were all condensed on his right hand. The dazzling wind attribute vindictiveness was compressed to the extreme, and a harsh sound of breaking wind emerged, even under the control of Yu Yifeng's attack, that everywhere along the way, there was a slight vibration in the space. Boom boom boom. The ice sword and the rectangular wind blade instantly attacked together. CC. But unexpectedly, the terrifying energy contained in the thousands of ice swords was easily pierced by the wind blade, and after the wind blade pierced through the ice swords one after another, the momentum and strength did not, even if it weakened in the slightest, it still blasted away at the Frost Ancient Ape below. This guy is so strong. Looking at this scene, the Frost Ancient Ape couldn't help but said. Yu Yifeng's wind blade was undoubtedly compressed to the extreme by him. In addition, the strength to suppress the Frost Ancient Ape was too much, so there was such a situation of crushing. The Frost Ancient Ape, die for me. After seeing how easily those ice swords were pierced, Yu Yifeng shouted. Although your strength is stronger than mine, don't underestimate my defense. After the Frost Ancient Ape said, he did not evade, and let the wind blade attack directly, as if he wanted to rely on his own flesh. The tyrannical power is combined with the defense of Frost, and it takes over the wind blade of the Jade Legacy. That's what you want. When Yu Yifeng saw this, he suddenly squeezed his palm, and the speed of the wind blade suddenly increased, and it fell directly on the body of the Frost Ancient Ape at a speed that was imperceptible to the naked eye. Bang bang bang. The terrifying wind blade hit the body of the Frost Ancient Ape, but there was no progress, but the wind blade kept making a rather serious noise on the ice layer outside the Frost Ancient Ape's body. Ha ha ha. The three-star fighting immortal powerhouse is nothing more than that. Realizing this scene, Frost Ancient Ape couldn't help but burst into laughter. It's too late to laugh now. And Yu Yifeng also laughed. Just as the voice of Yu Yifeng fell, the wind blade suddenly enlarged rapidly in the beast pupil of Frost Ancient Ape, and finally exploded in the next moment. Boom boom boom. With such a close-range explosion, there was nothing he could do if the Frost Ancient Ape's defensive power was tyrannical. The dazzling flamestorm is direct, and the vitality of the Frost Ancient Ape is weakening at a rapid speed. It's over. Yu Yifeng clapped his hands and said to Xiao Yan below. This Jade Legacy really has a second chance. Xiao Yan said softly in his heart, and immediately came up to greet him. Now that the Guardians of the 10th floor have been defeated, it is time to harvest the spoils.